Hey guys, welcome back to Enlisted Quick Tips episode 3. Today we're going to be looking at the general UI of the menus in the game, and this is going to be a brief overview just explaining what each of the tabs are. All of the deep dives, as I will mention in this video, we're going to be doing like a separate deep dives of each of the tabs because some of these tabs in the menus are actually quite complex, especially if you're a new player, and even for some more experienced players, some of the menus are still a completely gray area. So we're just going to start off with the basic menus that we have on top here. The ones that you're going to be using probably the most is the battle one, the battle tab, upgrades tab, shop tab, and research tab. So we're just going to go through all of these four. So if you're sticking onto the battle tab, which is going to be on by default, you're going to see your squads panel here. This is basically the squads that you will be bringing into your next match. And this is all the lineup. You can click through them. You can have a look at each individual soldier if you want to. Click to another squad. You can check all of the stats and weaponry these guys have, but we're gonna do a deep dive on these separately. Now when you click on a soldier, you will see that there are a lot more new buttons appear down here, like appearance, perks, and presets. We're gonna be going over those again in a separate video. If you do click on a tank, you can always click on the tank picture itself. It's gonna take you in this kind of viewing area, and you can zoom in and zoom out and scroll around and learn a bit more about the vehicles. But again, we're going to be taking a look at this specific area in a deep dive in another video. You can do the same for the planes as well, which is pretty cool. Funny how we're recording this at the lunar event and everything is this lunar event themed in the hangar. Obviously, if you're watching this video a bit later, your hangar is not going to have a massive Mandarin tiger sitting next to your tank. Right, that's the squads panel here. If you go down here, you will see a people icon with plus whatever the random number. This is where the rest of your squads are hiding, because you're at the first where you're going to get the game. You're only going to be able to bring 1, 2, 3, 4 squads in the game, and rest of them are going to be hiding under this panel here, and you can scroll through them here. If you want to switch them out, you could just easy drag and drop. But again, we're going to be making different videos for a deep dive in these tabs. There are a lot more buttons here to go over and to understand all the filters and everything. Now the next one here on the bottom is change soldiers. If you don't want to change a squad, but you want to, let's say you want to change out a specific soldier in your squad, you go click change soldier, and then you're going to get your reserve and see how many soldiers you have in reserve, and you can pick. But again, there are a lot more new buttons here under the change soldier tab, so we're going to be making another deep dive specifically about that. Moving on to the middle of the UI, you're going to see which nation you can select. This is where you change your nations. Very easy peasy, and at the same time it shows you which battle rating you are going to be currently playing. But again, battle ratings is something that I will definitely make a separate deep dive, because that's something you really need to understand. If we're moving on more towards the right side, you're going to have your gold, enlisted gold currency, which is the premium currency that you can buy with the money. There are some other rare ways you can get it, but generally you just spend your hard-earned cash for the virtual gold money. And now the silver, enlisted silver, is something that you earn in every single match. You earn them from rewards and things like that, and generally you spend the silver to buy everything in the game apart from the premium stuff. Now underneath here you got some orders which are a little bit old school. You might not have them like ever, but you might have a few of them. If you click on them, there are a few different types, like golden vehicle orders, golden troop orders, and golden weapon orders. And then there are some older ones from previous events when the game was in a different state, but I'm not sure if you're gonna get these ever. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, moving on, next one up here is your profile. You can click on that, and there's a lot of different tabs to see around, and all the stats between all the nations and squads and your ranks and whatever achievements. But we're gonna make, again, for your profile a separate video. Then the next one is your premium account indicator, and it just shows you how many days of premium account you got left. And the last one on the top, which just gives you all the menus and settings. And there are gonna be a few things that we're gonna be making separate videos, like replays, probably like options or controls and things like that. Now if you move down to the right side here, you're gonna have your battle pass and each of the tasks you can do every single day for your battle Battle Pass. Obviously for the Battle Pass itself, we are gonna do a separate video because there's again a lot to know with all the daily tasks. Next one down here is some promotion for premium squads. Usually they just choose to promote for each of the nations something else. You can see there's an ACI or AC1, I'm not sure. There's the APC squad, there's a tank squad here. No, it's actually an APC squad as well. So for every nation there's something else. If you go below this advertising bit, then you're gonna get the events and custom matches. Again, massive section of the UI that needs a lot of explaining. We're gonna do a separate video on that. Then we're gonna end up at the event. So there are two different events, which again we're gonna make videos on these. The ones that are a bit smaller and easier to do, and the ones that are much bigger, it takes much longer time to fulfill, but then the rewards are much better in these bigger events. Moving down to the bottom, you're gonna have your start match and your basically game mode selection, which again I'm gonna explain in another video. You can choose your server, Europe, Eastern Europe, North America, things like that. And on the very bottom, you're gonna get your friends list here, all of your friends, who's online, who's not, and your groups that you can add people to your group and play. So that is the overall UI for the battle tab. Now, if we go to the next tab, which is the upgrades, this is where you're gonna see a list of all of your squads here on the left-hand side, and each of them are gonna have a tons of different upgrades you can do and upgrade and change and pick and select. And again, a lot of things to explain. So we're gonna be doing the upgrades tab special video again. Next one, if we move on to the shop now, the shop can mean everything. So you can have everything from pistols, rifles, assault weapons, heavy weapons, and equipment, but that's not it. You can have your special offers, again, premium stuff, some event stuff that you might have earned. Then you have a battle pass rewards, some special guns that come out only for certain seasons and then they're removed. You can spend like golden orders to get them. Same for the troops, and same for the vehicles that are generally the same as any other. They just come with cool camo and fully upgraded if you do want to spend your golden order for these. But again, we're gonna do all the battle pass stuff in a separate video. So the weaponry we already saw. Soldiers, you can buy every single class here of the soldiers that you have unlocked whenever you do unlock them. And the last one is just the silver, the in-game currency that you earn every match. You can also buy it with the real cash, well, with gold, and you buy gold with real cash, so essentially with real money. Yeah. And that kind of concludes the shop. And the last, which is a massive one, gonna deserve a separate video, is the tech 3s. So you can see this is a massive tech 3 of all the weapons, planes, tanks, special weapons to unlock. We've got 5 tiers that go all the way from 1 to 5 here on the top. And there's a lot to know about this one. We're gonna be making a separate video for this as well. That is just a very basic kind of, so you know which way you're going, what each panel means. But again, if you follow along these video series, we're going to be doing a deep dive of every single one of these panels on Enlisted UI, because it is really tricky. If you don't know what you're doing, it's very frustrating. So I just want to make sure you know what you're doing, you know what you're clicking, and you know how to set up your squads and just the game in general so that you feel comfortable playing it. That was a rather long, quick tip, I think, the overview. But thank you so much for watching. Make sure you stick around if you're new, because a lot more episodes are about to be recorded. See you then.